welcome to The Art of Plating. In this series, we're going to talk about some plating techniques that'll help you take your game to the next level. Keep your friends coming back for more, keep them in awe, and show them the new techniques that you learned right here. I spent the last 22 years in the restaurant world, so you don't have to lift a finger. Just sit back, relax, watch the show, and enjoy. All right, so now we're gonna make the ricotta for the carrots that we're gonna come back to later. We're gonna use that in a few other episodes as well. We're gonna talk about ways to cross-utilize the different products that we have on hand. So what we're gonna do, we have some milk and cream we've steeped. We brought it up to 185, and that's the universal cheese making temperature where the proteins coagulate. Now we need some flavor, right? We've got the dill, we've just tied it up with a little butcher's twine here. Gonna put that in there so all those flavors marry, and then we want some lemony flavor. So we're just going to zest the lemon. Got any standard microplane here. I think a lot of times you see people doing this. At that point, you're just guessing how far into it you've gone. If you go too far, you get into the pith, and that's super bitter. We don't want that, okay? So we're gonna hold the microplane or the grater, whatever you use, on top of the lemon, and then we can see exactly how far we're going, how much of the lemon we've zested. Makes it a lot quicker, a lot more efficient, and you're not gonna have any chance of any bitter pith ending up in your final product. So flip it over, get the other side here. All right, so now that we've zested it, we're going to just slice it, grab the juice, and clean up our station here. All right, that's it. So we have everything we need to finish the ricotta. We have the cream, the milk, the dill, which is really gonna come through super nice. Everything needs salt. Add a decent amount while it's hot. It's gonna absorb into the mixture here. And then our cheese, we're gonna crank the temperature back up a little bit. All right, now we're gonna watch as it slowly comes back up to 185, and it's going to slowly curdle, and then we'll have cheese, voila. All right, so right now we're gonna make a quinoa tabbouleh, a little different take on your classic approach using bulgur. And we have some nice healthy quinoa. A lot of people don't know this, but it's actually really good for asthma. It helps your airways to open up. This is grown in the Andes where oxygen is less abundant, and it's one of those nature, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg. And so it's grown, and it helps with those high altitude environments. People need more oxygen. This is an oxygen fixer, so there you go. All right, so we've got the quinoa, we've cooked that off. We're going to throw this into our mixing bowl. Some tricolored quinoa here, nice, beautiful. Fluff it up a little bit. There we go. And we want some onion to put in there. Nice little small dice on it. All right, got a little more red onion that we chopped. We've got some nice pomegranate seeds. It's gonna add some nice acidity to the dish, and it's going to give it a nice little texture as well. There we go, in the party. Some cherry tomatoes. We're gonna also add, and a little cucumber. We don't need much. All right, we're just gonna slice into thirds. Here we go, come back. Nice little bite-sized pieces. No easier way to do it than that. And let's add some brightness to it. We've got some lemon, we're gonna zest it here. We're gonna keep the microplane on top so we can see exactly how much we're getting. So if you have some friends coming over, you wanna make a quick little salad, super fresh for these hot summer days that we're experiencing right now, this is a great option for you. You see how easy it is. We cooked up the quinoa, added the chopped veggies, the pomegranate, the lemon zest and juice. How easy is that? And everything needs a bit of freshness, so we're gonna chop some parsley right on the top. We've got a healthy pinch here. All right, now when we chop herbs, what we wanna do is we don't wanna take and just smash them on the board. That's gonna let all the flavor, all the chlorophyll out into the board. We want that in the bowl, in the party, right? The pool's nice and cool. We want everybody to jump in. So what we do is we take it and we roll it, we bunch it up, we bunch it up. Now we've got a solid mass that we can then chop, and we're just going to slice it like we were chopping an onion. That sort of thing, right? So get the loose ends, everybody in the party, nobody can escape. You bought your ticket already, here you go. That's it, that's all you need to do. Everything. Boom. All right. All right, that's it. We're gonna toss it, we're gonna plate it, call it a day. So once again, we've got the quinoa, the tomatoes, the cucumber, lots of onions in here, so don't kiss anybody. All right, there we go. Everything needs salt, so let's make sure that we add plenty. Here we go. And how fresh does that look, right? Let's get a plate, let's put it on there and see what happens. So we're really focusing on plating techniques. A lot of things we like to talk about are negative space. This bowl is a great example, and it's built exactly for that. So we've got this small amount of area that we can put the food in, and everything else is that negative space. It's gonna pop. It's gonna make everything stand out a little bit more, and you'll see when it comes out how amazing it'll be. So just a little bit right in the center, pile it nice and high. Give everybody plenty, act like you love somebody. Don't be stingy on this part. All right, that's it. Nice, fresh quinoa tabbouleh, and you're ready to go. All right guys, today we're going to talk about some different meat options that we can serve with the vegetables that we've already prepared for you. The quinoa tabbouleh salad is gonna go great with a pork tenderloin. We're gonna stuff it with some nice goat cheese, some stuffed olives. We're gonna throw some herbs on there and see what happens, all right? So we've got our pork tenderloin. This was made to stuff, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about here. But first we've got this silver skin that we want to get out of the way. So we're gonna take our knife, come toward the end of it here, and we're just creating a handle, all right? So then we're gonna come back, cut out the silver skin. Easy. There we go, one more time. Just like that, easy, right? All right. So now we're gonna open this up like a book. We're gonna come about I don't know, a ½ inch off of the cutting board here. We're going to open it up. Going to do the same thing again here. All right. And then you can see too what I'm doing here at the end is I have my hand on the other end. Not because I don't like my fingers, but I want to be able to feel the knife starting to get close, all right? So I know that I'm not going all the way through, and then it's going to just make it a little more difficult to hold everything in. All right, there we go. Just like a book, right? All right, we want to season everything, so we're going to go top, flip it over, the bottom, come back in, and see what we can do here. So we've got some nice goat cheese. We're just going to add it to the inside here. We want to leave a little space on the ends because when we're done, we're going to fold it over, roll it up, just like in your college days. And this is going to hold everything in. So, boom, there we go. Now we've got some nice green olives here. Now you could use maybe some pickled peppers, maybe you want to use some chopped walnuts, you know, whatever. As long as you have the cheese, everything's going to be fine. If you wanted to do it dairy-free, maybe shallot and walnuts would be a good example of that. All right, so now we've left lots of room here, and so now what we're going to do is fold the ends and roll it up like a burrito. All right, and so this is why we didn't want to come all the way through with our knives, because then the cheese isn't going to stay in there, right? Butcher's twine. We're going to start at the top end, and just like tying a shoe, except for we're going to go under twice. So we got once, one more time, and so what that does is it stays. Now it's not going to loosen back up before we can tie our second knot to secure it, and that's where everything starts. All right, classic trussing system. So we're going to have our butcher's twine, we're going to have our hand, and we're going to flip it over, and that's just going to make a little loop, so it's going to hold everything nice and in place. It's going to cook evenly, so we're going to pull the twine. There we go, right? Once again, we're going to show you here. So we've got the string in one hand. We're going to twist it over, just a little simple loop. And boom, there we go. One more time. And we're going to cut enough to run back up the side. Done with that. All right, so now we're going to flip it over and go through the bottom. Now if we were just to go all the way down the side, nothing's going to keep it in place, so we're just going to take it, run it back through. Once again, a little more friction. There we go. Once, twice. And this took like 5 minutes, right? It's super easy. It's going to hold everything inside. So all that delicious hard work that you put into is going to stay there. It's going to taste great. Once, twice. And then now we are back where we started. We want to tie that little end piece, loop it over. And there you have it. We are ready to go into the pan with our stuffed pork tenderloin. It's got a pan preheating here. Throw a little more salt on there. Roll it across the board. All right, so that's going to get all that seasonings that we put on there. We're gonna start with the cut side down into the pan. All right, so now we have the pan hot. We've got the pork, we've seared it off on all three sides. We're just gonna throw it into the oven and let it cook all the way through. Nobody likes pork tartare. Here we go. All right, time to make some veggies and some sauce. We've got our pan over here getting hot for the vegetables. We've got a Pinot Noir gas streak going in the background, so that's gonna make a nice little acidic component to the dish. And so now we're gonna make a gremolata. A gremolata is just some herbs, usually some shallot, maybe some garlic, some acidity. In this case, we have some red wine vinegar, and it's all gonna come together, a little olive oil. So we have some flat leaf Italian parsley, just pulling off some of these larger stems. You know, about a cup here, something like that. And once again, we're gonna just roll it up into a tight little bunch, make slicing it super easy. And we're just gonna come in like we're cutting an onion. We're gonna leave the tip of the knife on the board and slicing in a rocking type of motion all the way to the end. There we go. Maybe we turn it a half turn. Come back in one more time. And notice we don't have any green on the board. All that flavor is still in the parsley, and it's gonna go into the dish. Here we have some nice brunoise shallot, and we're just gonna add the two together, see what happens. All right, so now we have some red wine vinegar. We're going to add in a couple of tablespoons and equal amounts of olive oil, some salt, because everything needs salt, and some fresh thyme. That's it. That's our gremolata sauce. How easy was that? Man, that's good. All right. We've got our pan nice and ready for the vegetables. We have some zucchini here, some red bell pepper. It's gonna go really nice with the pork. Just some olive oil in the pan, really hot pan. There we go. All right. All right, let's take the pork out and see what happened. So now we got to cut this butcher's twine off. That was easy, right? And all right, we're gonna get all these end pieces that we did our double knots on here. And so it's just hanging out, resting, ready to go. And we're just gonna set this over here to rest. We'll come back to it later. And let's finish up those veggies. All right, we have some fresh chopped thyme. Goes nice with everything. All right, we've got our platter fit for a king or a queen right here. There we go. We've got our zucchini, red bell peppers onto the platter. All right, you ready for some plating? All right, so now in plating fundamentals, we're gonna talk about a few different things here. We're gonna talk about color, contrast, linear motion, height, balance, and negative space. This plate is really going to show off that negative space really well. It has these really high sides, really wide sides. We're going to plate everything in here and leave the rest alone. Check it out. And then so what we're doing now is just creating this linear motion on the side of the plate. All right, so we've created our linear motion here. We've got from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock and everything's gonna follow that. So we have a few things that are kind of offset from maybe 10 to 2, but that's all right, it's still keeping that motion. And we're going to further enhance that with our stuffed pork tenderloin. So we can see now we've baked it, nice doneness on the middle. We've got the cheese, oozy goozy out the side, and we're just going to cut a few medallions, as they would say in the 80s, and fan it out, see what happens. There we go. We want some nice center cut pieces. We're going to stack them a little bit here and bring them over. Alright, so now we've got these nice center cut pieces. We're going to bring them over here, and there we go. So we're going to add some of our gremolata. This is really going to be the nice acidic fresh bite that's going to cut through that rich roasty toasty flavor of the vegetables and the pork. It's going to really complement that goat cheese really nicely. For the sauce, we want to kind of hide a lot of it. We put all this work into this beautiful food, but we don't want to cover it up with sauce. Maybe in years past we might just drizzle it everywhere, but we want to really just highlight a lot of our things that we put effort into. So we're going to just add a few drops here and there. I'm going to get this guy out of the way. There we go. And that's going to be our pork tenderloin roulade with our zucchini, gremolata sauce, red bell peppers, a little fresh thyme, shallot in there. Enjoy.